many different variations. So yesterday I picked up a bunch of books from the public library that I had requested. Our public library is really small, and so they seem to just like gather whatever you want from like other libraries in our district or something, and then they mail or ship them to my library. So I just had a bunch of books that came all at once and I needed to go pick up. But I've been really inspired to just learn more about embroidery. I'm kind of set in my ways of just making floral, small, intricate, detailed, miniature embroidery, but I'm just in awe of people who can make just really realistic thread paintings. And so I've been craving just to like pour over some imagery and information about that in a book. I really missed going to the public library. I used to do that a lot in Indiana where I lived before. And there was a ton of books there, and it was so fun to just check them out, just whatever you're kind of interested in, and just flip through them. You don't even have to read everything, but I really love just having a little shopping spree at the public library. But like I said, I needed to pick them out digitally and have them brought to my library. I got quite a few, and some of them are actually like written by some of my embroidery friends from Instagram. So I'll just take you through some of them. So my bag was pretty full and heavy with all of these different books. I chose a few that I had never heard of the artist before. Like this one was about embroidered butterflies, and they were all made with silk and they look so lifelike. That was really interesting. It didn't really tell you how to do the techniques or anything, or it didn't seem to. It was pretty wordy and I didn't read it all, but it was beautiful to look at. And I also got How to Embroider Almost Every Cute Thing, which is right up my alley. It was just a ton of like little motifs. I was most excited for these books though, and these are all people that are kind of my friends or I know them off of Instagram. The first one is by an artist named Chloe Giordano. You might recognize some of her really like lifelike and just really cute animals. She does a lot of hoops of like beautiful animals surrounded by detailed nature. And this book was really just visually like beautiful to like look through. She is also an illustrator. That's what she went to school for, and I think it really translates to her work. She also does book covers, which I think is just so cool. It didn't talk about the book covers in here though, but she shares a little bit of her process, but I do think the way that she works is really kind of intuitive, and I'm not sure that it was very easy for her to like step by step tell you how to imitate that or use the same kind of techniques that she's doing. I wish there was like a video that went along with this, but I think she does have a Domestica course, which maybe I'll pursue that in the future. But it was just a really lovely book to flip through and just see how she works through a project. The other three that I got are people that I know from Instagram as well. Meg Embroiders, Megan Zaniowski. She does stump work embroidery, which is kind of more like 3D embroidery, where you might use like a wire to create three-dimensional elements for your embroidery, like a moth or a butterfly or a dragonfly. And I was very impressed by just the step-by-step clear instructions and like telling you the different materials, like specific materials that you need. This would be really helpful if you are interested in learning like stump work embroidery. I am not one who gravitates to more like three-dimensional artwork personally to make, but I still think it's so interesting to like look through and learn how to do it. I mean, never say never, but I am just in awe of what Megan can make. It's gorgeous and lifelike and so beautiful. So I highly recommend this one. I love how Megan like pairs her pieces with these really cool vintage or just like found frames. It makes her work like really just kind of whimsical and extra special. I am in love with the frames. But I mean her work too, just like, whoa, so neat. The other books that I got are by Michelle Staub of Stitching Sabbatical, and you might have seen her work. It looks so uncannily lifelike. She is amazing at just thread painting, and she does a lot of like pet commissions, pet portraits, and I was just so impressed by her book as well. Both of these were like published by the same Stash Books, and I'm just not sure if they're just really good at explaining how to use techniques, but it covered everything. And I'm just like, wow, like references, look at her work, so lifelike, so amazing. And it was also just like really cute and encouraging. Like, look at this cat. Oh my goodness. That's not a photograph. She captures the fur so well. But at the end of the book, it was really sweet because she just leaves you with an encouraging note of like, try not to compare your work to other people, and like progress is still progress. She shows her very first pet portrait versus like one of her more current ones. And like you can see the visible differences, but this is still like really good. And it's just amazing to see how far she has progressed. Like, wow. And then this one was also very similar in like the techniques, explaining the techniques. I would say they're very similar, but this one does touch on like animals that have different types of fur or no fur, like feathers or scales. Amazing. This snake, like a fish. There was one that I just like stared out for minutes on end. I was just like, how did she stitch these feathers to look so much like feathers? Like perfect. Like her work is just amazing. But it was really fun to take an afternoon and just be inspired by other makers and their work and how I could implement that a little bit in my own, or just be inspired by it. I actually got some Gutermann thread, which a lot of these embroiderers use for like more detailed work. And I haven't opened it yet, but I am interested to try my own hand at something a little bit more like thread painting. I wish that I could like own all of these books and have them on my bookshelf, but you can tell my bookshelf is already a little bit full and I live in a really small place. So while I can't own them, it was fun to use the public library as a resource to support these makers and also support my own inspiration, and all for free. That was great. So if you haven't checked them out of the library, you definitely should. I really recommend all of these. This is the thread that I purchased, hoping to practice like thread painting more, just try it out. A lot of people use this Gutermann brand, so I think it's pretty good. But this was actually my last purchase from Joanne Fabrics, so I need to use it and make something and honor her memory. R.I.P. Joanne. And we made this petal zine. A zine is like a personal magazine that you can just like express yourself in, and a lot of times it's like with collage elements. So I spent the night just kind of like finding images that I liked, but you could pick from all these different like words that somebody had previously cut out. And so I just made these little messages on each page. They don't really mean anything, but it was kind of like stream of consciousness. So that's all it was, but it was really fun. This is my business card that I'm really happy with. I like the rounded edges and I think it's just kind of cute. I include it with orders and it's more of like a thank you than a business card, which is just kind of like the value system of my business. I want to be very grateful for every order, but I've been looking at this card and I'm just thinking that like my name is so tiny and there's just like this awkward space below it, and so I would like to make Katie a little bit bigger. And up here I actually write the person's name that placed the order, and I really like that. I think it's a nice personal touch, so I just need to tweak this a little bit. The other card that I'm editing is a card that I include in my embroidery kits, but I actually cut it right there so that I end up with two small cards. As you can see, I use that to hold all my clothespins together that I include in my embroidery kits. On the back, I have a QR code to my email list, which I think is fine. But then I was thinking I paid extra to have like stuff on the back of the card. And I'm like, why don't I use this space? I don't know about you, but I use lots of like junk paper or cute things that I don't want to throw away as bookmarks. And so it was my idea kind of that this little thing could be used as like just a cute thing in a junk journal or as a bookmark. But I was thinking I'd like to put something on the back of it just to make the most of the card and the cost. I think this looks a little bit clearer, a little nicer. It says Katie really big. I think this is pretty good. I just reorganized this card a little bit more, and on the back I added just my little motto that is joy in the little things. So I think that's good. Now it's time to send it through Vistaprint. Check out what came, my business cards. Vistaprint changed the box that it usually comes in. It used to be a really nice box that like would open and close, like take the cap off, but now it's just like kind of this thin cardboard. I'm a little disappointed with that. No, they changed. So they definitely changed things about what I ordered. Like, I ordered the exact same thing, but I can tell that the print is a lot lighter. It doesn't look too bad on this camera, but in person it looks very washed out. And oh my goodness, the quality of the paper is way thinner than what I ordered last time. I think they're really cutting corners, literally. I asked for them to cut these corners though. Yeah, I'm just noticing like the cut on them. This isn't a huge deal, but it's just kind of jagged and not crisp. It's not a huge deal. Like, this is probably fine, but I'm just disappointed because I really liked the past few times that I've ordered from them. The good thing is, like, these are looking very centered, which other times that I've purchased, they've been a little bit off centered. So like one side of the yellow is visibly smaller than the others, which is annoying. These all look pretty centered. And as far as this, I like that. That's what I changed. Everything looks all right. Let's check out the other ones. This looks okay. No! Oh no! Ah! Oh no. I printed this on backwards. Shoot. I'll have to redo this one because there's really, I can't just cut it right here. That doesn't make any sense. I feel so dumb. The preview on their website was really confusing because I probably set it up like I should have done vertical, but it made me think that it was right. Like, it would show this and then this, and I'm like, okay, this is on this side, this is on this. I did it wrong. It should be like this, you know, but it's not. You can also see, like, this is the same file. This is so much darker than this, and this as well. Like, it's just got more depth and contrast. I'm not really pleased with how it printed, but it's just so slight that, I don't know. It's not very noticeable, but this was my fault. I don't know what I'm gonna do with like 500 of these. Hobbit hole kit is done. I've been working on it for years, to be honest. It's been an idea that's been close to my heart for such a long time. I made so many necklace batches, like with Hobbit motifs or just Tolkien, Lord of the Rings related designs. And so I know that this has been something that a lot of people have been eager for, a kit of the Hobbit hole. And for many different reasons, it just took me a very long time. But I finally sorted it out, and I tried so many different variations. You could hardly tell the difference. But I just really wanted to get it perfect, and I think that maybe I did. I'm just like really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks like a Hobbit hole. It's not too difficult to stitch. In fact, I think it's really beginner friendly. And so I've actually sold quite a few, and I'm running a giveaway right now for a finished necklace or a kit. And that seems to be getting a really good response. So I'm just really happy, and I'm excited to like keep this as something in my shop that like hopefully people will stitch and treasure, give it away. I updated the instructions a little bit, and I just think they're awesome. I hope they're awesome at least, you know, gotta keep it. But I feel so glad that it's done, and it kind of opens the door for other ideas that have been stewing and I've been brewing and thinking on, you know, holding really tight. And I just want to like carefully, thoughtfully, lovingly produce things to share. And I really hope that you'll enjoy, or at least enjoy, the behind the scenes of all of this kind of thing that goes on. Please subscribe, please comment, please help me know how to go about this channel. What is something that you are eager to see? What's something that would help you in your creative journey? I really would love to know and to help and, you know, just be friendly on YouTube. But anyway, I wanted to say thanks so much for watching. Sincerely, Katie of Dandelion Doily.